It was a few days ago now, but Trump had a rally at Butler, PA. He went back to the scene of the crime. Yeah. It's quite brave, really. I mean, they had the bulletproof, like Pope glass stuff.
I mean, it's kind of understandable.
I'm not blaming it.
No. I'm not standing at the spot where I got shot by an attempted assassin. Maybe I will put the plexiglass up this time.
If it were me, I'd put the plexiglass up forevermore now.
Which, again, it wouldn't be an unreasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. No, right. I'd probably just live stream from the basement of the White House. Or,
I don't think he's allowed there now.
Oh, no, not yet. Yeah. From some sort of bomb-proof basement at Mar-a-Lago then.
I love the way that he begins this, though.
Yeah, so he did just say, basically, as I was saying, as though
points to the graft.
As if he was interrupted mid-sentence.
Yeah. Best intro he could have possibly given.
Yeah. But the takeaway sort of headline that, if all these things, everything nowadays gets reduced to a few seconds, doesn't it? Or one soundbite or something. And it was that when Elon comes on stage, he sort of does he jumps with joy a couple of times.
We love our autists, don't we, folks?
Yeah, and it was great. It seemed like a genuine expression of happiness.
Yeah, I like his T-shirt actually. Occupy Mars. That's cool.
Yeah,
the last man who actually is trying to do something interesting.
It's got that whiff of American manifest destiny about it.
Yeah.
It's funny actually that Trump's like, wait, what's he doing behind me?
Well, the thing is,
Trump he being embarrassing?
Yes, Trump and Elon are very different people. Trump is a boomer, and with boomers are very concerned about status and the opinions of the neighbours and the people around them. Very concerned. Oh, what will the neighbours think? What will so and so think? And so, being a New York billionaire businessman, Trump's like that magnified outside of the normal context, whereas Elon is an autistic Gen X tech bro. He doesn't have any idea what people around him think of him and doesn't care.
And doesn't get right, yeah.
He's just the idea of other people's opinions. They must have some, I suppose. And you can see this every time Elon is to any kind of public appearance. And to be honest with you, I find it really endearing.
Oh yeah,
because
it's honest, right? It's real.
Yeah.
He enjoys the sort of freedom most people will never know. That true FU money.
Yes.
If he lost 99% of his fortune, he'd still have over $2 billion, right? So.
But also, there's a kind of it goes more than that, right? Because I mean, Elon's what, 51, 52?
Is he that old?
Yeah, he's getting on, and he's got like 10 kids or something. He's been married a bunch of times. Like I am telling you, that when you've got a certain number of children and you reach a certain age, you do arrive at a point of freedom that you just didn't realize was possible. Like freedom from other people's judgments. You're like, look, it doesn't matter what your opinion is because I'm still at a position that just can't be taken away by other people's thoughts and speeches. I'm still the father of my children. I still have to be the moral authority that is instructing them on what to do. And so you do arrive, and this is why, your parents just don't care what your friends think.
Yeah.
It's just like they just don't care. They're so beyond it that it's, again, and to have the sort of financial freedom that Elon must have at this point, just like he's just arrived at a level of irreverence.
So far beyond that, even.
Yeah.
Even someone like Uriah.
He's way beyond.
When you're a teenager and maybe you see one of your teachers out in the town centre and you're just like, you're so embarrassed.
Yeah, it's weird.
Or like one of your parents is wearing something really uncool.
Your mum
they come
pick you up from school and embarrasses you. Yeah.
And they're like, and like everything's just really, really embarrassing. And at some point, usually, hopefully, if you're a well-rounded person, at some point you just drop all of that.
Yeah.
You just don't care anymore about any of that.
Yeah. It just falls.
And so anyway, yeah.
Elon's in that position.
Elon. Good for him. Good for him. So can we play that first clip? If you play that then, Samson.
I'm sure we can. Possibly.
Samson.
Can we play that
the
first
clip, please?
His name is Elon Musk. He saved free speech. He created...
Saved every one of us.
So many different great
Flash
things.
Gordon.
Where is he? Come on up here, Elon. He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs. and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight. Blood coming down the face. The other side wants
Anyway,
to
if you
take
can stop
away
playing
your
that
freedom of
sentence,
speech.
Because we've got other clips.
I mean, he makes a great point though, because I mean, even Mark Zuckerberg was like, "Okay, that was badass."
Yeah.
You know, he couldn't. Okay, yeah, you know.
I think everyone's seeing that iconic image. If you're remotely pro-Trump, then you're like, well, that's cool. And if you're a completely anti-Trumper, got Trump derangement syndrome, you must be like, oh,
He's still
that's
grinding
annoying.
your teeth.
That's kind
Why
of,
didn't they get
that
it?
is kind of cool.
It makes me think, of that. Yeah, it's really viral. So many people have seen it now. But the Shane Gillis impression of Trump, where he's talking about the, and like when they killed Soleimani, it's like, oh, I wouldn't have cried and everything.
Yeah.
But we know now.
Yeah, he
that
didn't.
He really wouldn't have cried because he
Crying like a
was in the
baby.
life and death situation. And no, he showed who he truly was, in his core in that moment.
Shane Gillis's Trump is the best Trump.
It's so good.
Yes.
I mean, Elon makes that point in his speech that he gives, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, well, we actually know what he's like under fire.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't doubt that did win over a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked on the tech bros, worked on Zuckerberg.
Yeah, being cool, calm, and collected under fire.
Yeah.
Can we play the second clip where it's a bit of Elon speaking, a little bit further into when he was speaking?
They want to take away your right to vote effectively. You got 14 states now that don't require voter ID. California, where I used to live, is just passed a law banning voter ID for voting. I still can't believe that's real. So how are you supposed to have a proper election if there's no ID? It's just meaningless. And free speech is the bedrock of democracy. And if people don't know what's going on, if they don't know the truth, how can you make an informed vote? You must have free speech in order to have democracy. That's why it's the First Amendment. And the Second Amendment is there to ensure that we have the First Amendment.
Okay, stop playing that if you want, because it goes on to it speaks fairly slowly. But the next thing he goes on to say is all about registering. Make sure you're registered to vote in America. So yeah, I would parrot that.
I like the fact that he's got the dark MAGA hat on.
Yeah, dark MAGA. They take the mickey out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's not just MAGA; he's dark MAGA.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
But I mean, Elon's not saying anything that's not completely true, and he hasn't stood by. Like, if it wasn't for Elon buying Twitter, God only knows what things would look like.
yeah,
The narratives that would be unable to be advanced because of the censorship. I mean, Trump was banned from Twitter. I mean, Trump's back. So, again, if there was anything inauthentic to any of this, I wouldn't hesitate to point that out. But there's not. I mean, I'm quite critical of Nigel Farage and Reform these days because I do find that they're becoming a bit inauthentic. But only, it's from a British point of view. It's okay. This is very American. But okay, fine. They are Americans. I'm happy to let that go. And they're not saying anything that's not completely correct.
no, Elon's right. I'm a bit of an Elon simp.
Yeah. Well, he brought my Twitter back, so I am.
Right, yeah.
If Elon hadn't bought Twitter, though, we wouldn't even be sat here contemplating the idea that Trump could inevitably, just win the election in a few weeks. If Elon hadn't bought Twitter, it's that simple.
It was a big thing. It was a big thing. It was a bit of a game changer or a momentum shifter, however you want to say it. I wrote an article ages ago really, really praising Elon, like comically so, though. It's very deliberately over the top. But I said of him, all hail good King Elon, first of his name. He saved every one of us. Oh, all hail King Elon the First, Lord of Tesla, Master of SpaceX, Prince of the PayPal States. All hail the mighty Lord Musk, Father of the Earth, Emperor among men. For he saved every one of us. Amen.
But it hasn't aged badly, has it?
Oh.
Like, he hasn't disappointed me.
Yeah, no, it's good, yeah. I'm hoping that he'll pick me as a ship's poet when they first go to Mars. I'm genuinely hoping that, Elon.
What, you'd go to Mars, would you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you and Dan don't fancy it.
There's nothing there.
That's not the point. Oh my God, that's not the point.
You know, the British public told us whether they go to the moon, and half of them said, nah, there's nothing there.
It's just one of the most fantastic journeys and adventures you could ever imagine, but...
Yeah, to what is essentially a desert planet.
It's not what's the issue here.
Okay, well, you know,
Anyway,
you can use your Starlink to, you know, send me an email.
yeah,
How is it on Mars? But well, there's not much to do.
it's a bit boring actually. Yeah, no, I think I can't think of anything
It's not total.
more amazing to do with your time than something like that. I'm going to do a bit of content soon, probably on Epochs, about Magellan. The idea of I've done a few bits of content about great explorers. I'm fascinated by explorers.
Thing is, I think Magellan's perspective is a lot more defensible. What's out there? Well, barbarians, foreign lands, you know, strange wildernesses, not just rocky desert. There's more out there.
You never know, there might be sort of Mars bats in the caves that
Maybe.
you find, and then you're the first person to find alien life or something. Anyway. Yeah, if we could play the next clip, this is the bit where Trump does that line. Might have to watch a few seconds of it. It's a good 15, 20 seconds from this point, but anyway.
Sorry, I just like the energy. I like
Yeah.
It's electric, isn't it?
We don't have things like this in the UK.
Very rarely, isn't it? If ever, yeah. The closest we got is Nigel, and it's not as amped up as this, is it?
No.
Nowhere near as high
Try
up.
to mimic it.
No, just not as bold.
Lee, thank you very much, really. And thank you, a very big thank you to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. And as I was saying,
Turns to the Jumbotron, it's the exact same graphic that you had up.
oh, I love that. I love that chart. I love that graph. Isn't it a beautiful thing? But also beautiful because look at the number. That's the day I left office. It was the lowest Border Patrol, the lowest it's ever been. Illegal immigration. Today
Okay,
it's out of
Samson.
control. But I love it for...
That's enough of that. Yeah, so it's obviously
Yeah.
a great way of doing
It's so
it.
good.
I haven't got a mouse. Can you scroll down on the? Can I? Oh, there we go. Okay. So the substance of his speech. He spoke for what, half hour, 40 minutes or so
It's quite a long time, yeah.
before Uncle Elon came on, and it was quite good. I thought quite patriotic and stirring and sort of unapologetic, classic Trump fare. Nothing massive about policy or anything, but I guess this isn't really the stage.
Like you said, largest deportation since, what was it, Eisenhower or something?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
He did do a tribute to the people that were the person and the people that were wounded in last time. It was Corey Comparator. It's difficult to pronounce that unfortunate chap's last name, but they did it seemed like quite a heartfelt tribute to him, and the two other people that were wounded, a guy called David Dutch and another guy called James Copenhaver, and that James Copenhaver was even going through an operation that day. He couldn't be there because he was having yet another operation.
Right.
So profound injuries.
Yeah.
I don't think we certainly shouldn't forget that Corey fella,
We also
but
should,
even the other two should.
yeah.
You remember?
And
I mean,
we shouldn't forget that there are huge numbers of people on the Democrat side who think it was staged.
yeah.
Like,
Right.
Sorry, a man died and two other people were grievously wounded.
Or think it's good and funny. Or something.
Well, well.
There's plenty of those people. Plenty
Sick.
of those people.
Yeah.
But one little criticism I would have is that Trump, after saying some nice words, seemed like heartfelt words about it all, said, let's have a moment of silence. But then they filled the moment of silence with a rendition of Ave Maria.
Right.
I thought that was in slightly bad taste. Have a moment of silence, which is actually silence, or just play Ave Maria. I don't know.
Right.
That was just very, very small criticism. I mean, they tried their best to do something. So I don't really want to criticise them. So on to the reaction to it. I can't remember this bloke's name off of MSNBC, but he didn't really like...
Joy Reid.
Yeah. Oh, it's a woman. Wait, I thought it was Eddie Murphy put on some weight.
Apparently, it's a lady called Joy Reid.
Okay.
Reliably informed by MSNBC.
Let's play this, Samson.
But we begin tonight with the manic, bizarre, and frankly childish fanboying of Donald Trump, as illustrated by ultimate fanboy Elon Musk, literally jumping
being
up and down
scolded.
on stage with Trump during a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. It was not just weird and meme-worthy, sparking hilarious online monikers like Dork MAGA and 2 Live Coup, but also ominous, given some of the frankly alarming things Musk has been saying. But when you look at the people backing Trump, some of the most notable ones, I should say, are steeped in this precise moment.
Oh yeah, stop playing this now. She immediately goes on to talk about apartheid and Nelson Mandela. Yeah.
Oh, is it
because
because Elon's South Africa?
Yeah.
As a boy, he was in South Africa. Yeah. So he was somehow responsible.
He's an African American, isn't he?
Good point.
He didn't leave till he was 17.
Yeah.
Which is...
Good point. So
it's not like when he was 8. His formative years were in Africa.
Yeah.
But anyway...
So as a boy in Africa, Elon is somehow connected to apartheid.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Very
she's making the
honest.
point that, white people have never really got over the fact that blacks took power in South Africa.
Oh, really?
And now I guess they're bringing back over some sort of old apartheid system.
I wonder what her opinion is of current South Africa.
I can't talk about that.
Right.
The actual physical state of it.
I love the way that she's kind of
carjacking and raping capital of the world, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's only when they have power. Most of the rolling blackouts. But I love the way the implication in this is kind of like, Elon's going to be advising Donald Trump on apartheid or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, what?
Minister for apartheid.
Yeah. It's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, like Elon's in Donald's ear.
Yeah.
Wormtongue. Bring back apartheid. Apartheid was well good, Donald. Let's do that. Again. Yeah, I know, it's madness. Right? That bloke, Joy Reid didn't like it. So let's go on to another clip.
Oh, good.
Seth Meyers.
Yeah. The interchangeable
on NBC
late night talk show host that nobody watches. Yeah.
Yeah. If you play, we only watch a few seconds of this, but if you play this from the
Several media outlets have finally started accurately describing how weird and unhinged Donald Trump's rallies are. And they're also talking to Trump's own audience members about why they leave. For more on this, it's time for
that's enough of that. The whole segment was about that people leave Trump rallies early, apparently. What an embarrassment that is, and if that is or isn't true.
I'm sure it's totally true.
It's like the lamest sort of angle to try and take, right? I can't think of a lamer angle.
Yeah.
Got nothing.
I saw Tim Pool and Jack Posobiec were at the Butler PA rally, and it was just colossal. It was just absolutely packed out.
Oh, yeah, those photos were incredible.
They were going down the lines of just people queuing to see Trump and Elon. It's like, okay, well, I mean, don't know what to tell you.
Plus, if it is true, that's common. When you have a massive stadium, a big stadium full of people, loads of people will leave early. Sure. I've been to hundreds of football games in my time. And loads of people leave early. In fact, I do sometimes, because the station or the transport system or the car parks will be rammed. Everyone trying to get out at the exact same moment. I've even left a West Ham game early and missed a goal. I missed a David Beckham goal in the late 90s once because I left 5 minutes early.
You sound like you're still recording.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, well, no, it was all right because he scored against West Ham. I don't need to see the Manx score. But yeah, you hear the shout outside the stadium. You're like, oh no. Anyway, that's just a completely normal thing. In fact, that speaks volumes about how giant the crowd is that people feel the need to do it. Anyway, it's just what a pathetic angle to take. And if you could play the next bit of the next link.
2 years ago, when billionaire Elon Musk bought what was once called Twitter, he vowed to keep it a non-biased platform. In fact, that was his mission statement. He posted it at the time. It must be politically neutral, which effectively means upsetting the far right and the far left equally. It was a message he repeated frequently in interviews after purchasing the platform.
The goal of New Twitter is to be
okay, we don't have to play any more of that.
Fair
so that whole segment was just about how
the left been purged.
So what it is they're very, very deliberately failing to understand the difference between overactive censorship and promoting your own views.
Yeah,
they're deliberately not understanding the difference between those two things.
Well, when you've had it rigged, for your own side for so long, fairness looks like oppression, doesn't it?
Yeah. I have heard that from some leftists.
Yes,
I've heard that.
Yeah. And so I don't know how many people, maybe your average MSNBC viewer, the 3 or 4 of them left, will buy that spin, that angle, will just accept what they're being told there. But surely most people will be able to see that there's a difference between, forcing Zuckerberg to, because I think his hand probably was forced. I don't want to defend, I don't want to go to bat for Zuck, But it seems like he was forced to do it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of the tech bros were. I think a lot of them were kind of more libertarian-esque. And were just surrounded by woke leftists in California. Who are you going to hire in California? Well, it's probably going to end up being a woke leftist. And so their institutions are just filled with these people who are incredibly left-wing, and they're like, okay, but I'm just kind of a live and let live kind of guy. I didn't really have strong moral opinions. And it takes someone like Elon to come along and go, yeah, I'm a bit autistic. I don't care about their opinions. This is how we're going to do it. To lead the way. And because, Jack Dorsey was never an excessively woke guy. When Twitter was first created, they called it, their little tag was the free speech wing of the free speech party, referring to the Democrats. So they were like, oh yeah, we're going to have everything. And of course that didn't last for very long. And yeah, the distinction is obvious. Is it being evenly moderated? Yes. Does Elon Musk have his own opinions on who to back? Yes. Everyone else does. Why shouldn't he?
You're allowed that still.
Yeah. Every other Silicon Valley business donates stacks of cash to the Democrats. Tim Cook is just a Democrat activist. Sorry, is Elon not allowed to have his opinion?
Well, regardless of the degree to which somebody like Zuckerberg was coerced in 2020.
I wouldn't say coerced.
I think, but whatever degree of it was.
Maybe just
nonetheless,
influenced.
There's a real difference between actual censorship and Trump promoting what he thinks. Elon promoting what he thinks. They're just terribly upset that he's got 200 odd million followers, and anyway, Jon Stewart is pulling the exact same trick. Do you want to play that, Samson, for us?
But there was an October surprise this weekend that I did not see coming, and that surprise is this: Elon Musk has ups.
His rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space.
Jon Stewart's angle on this is like the embarrassed teenager.
Over, Elon,
they're trying to embarrass you over nothing, really. Look. He jumped for joy.
He's acting like a guy who won a radio contest. No! I can't believe I get to bid on the washer dryer!
Yeah.
The world's richest man and one of the most popular people on social media. He's got 200 million followers. Yeah. Completely organically on his platform.
Yeah,
because of how interesting
or something when he bought it.
Things like, and
it's so weak sauce.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
He's got nothing.
He's doing a great job by showing all this
to stop people from bringing help. Yeah, he tweets that. Anyway, his October surprise is he's come out MAGA.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Yeah, stop that. You get the point. The angle
but when it was Dark Brandon, it was the coolest thing ever, right?
It's like when you're 13 and you've got slightly not cool enough trainers and your other 13-year-old friends take the mickey out of you for it. And you are embarrassed.
Yeah, I just...
no, that doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work on grown-up men.
But it also
what are you doing?
It doesn't work on people who are just winning continuously throughout their careers.
Right.
Oh, he's got 200 million followers. Yeah, he does. How many do you have? He's doing great. You've had to come back out of retirement because the Democrats were failing without your propaganda. It's like, okay.
That still of Jon Stewart kind of says it all, doesn't it? I think it's very telling of what he is.
Yeah, Elon just sort of, manly just and Jon Stewart like a little girl.
Yeah.
Trying to shame you.
Exact same sort of face of Stephen Colbert and all that. It's just, vacuous.
All right, I've gone on maybe a touch too long, so we'll leave it there. But, so hopefully Elon will actually be in cabinet even, certainly in government in some form,
Department of Government Efficiency.
Trump win. So I'm looking forward to that, for one.
Seems very likely, doesn't it? We have loads of chats. The Shadow Band says, hey, just want to give a big thanks to the Islander team. Can't wait to get my copy. It should be on its way to you at the moment. The batches have been... We're printing in batches now rather than just all at once. So one batch has been sent. You should get it this week, actually. Neo Miller says, Mars is the new manifest destiny of the West, and Elon is the Horace Greeley of the 21st century. Who the hell is Horace Greeley?
I don't know. There was one bit in the speech where Donald says... Elon has promised me we'll get to Mars during my next presidency. I think that's maybe a touch optimistic, but still,
Yeah.
Still, they've both got a vision. So
I hope you appreciated that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, and if you want to see what else we're doing, you can watch our series Lads Hour on the website, where we have lots of fun and talk about silly things. And if you want to see all the other things we're doing, you can always follow us on Twitter. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.